And this is a review because we already finished it. And so we're starting here, line 27, where the author, Al-Marzuqi, said, وَكُلُّ مَا أَتَى بِهِ الرَّسُولُ فَحَقُّهُ التَّسْلِيمُ وَالْقَبُولُ وَكُلُّ مَا أَتَى بِهِ الرَّسُولُ فَحَقُّهُ التَّسْلِيمُ وَالْقَبُولُ. And everything with which the messenger came is entitled to submission and acceptance. وَكُلُّ مَا أَتَى بِهِ الرَّسُولُ. And all of what the messenger came with it, yani, anything with which the messenger came, we have everything here. You can say anything too. فَحَقُّهُ التَّسْلِيمُ وَالْقَبُولُ. Then what it deserves, yani, it's right. It is entitled to at-taslim, submission, yani, giving up to it, no resistance. وَالْقَبُولُ, and acceptance. Be like that woman who was a slave woman, a married slave woman. And when she was freed, this broke her marriage contract. She became not married by her emancipation. So she did not want to do a new contract with her former husband, with her ex. Allah gave her a way out and she didn't want to get back in. So he's begging her, behind her, please, don't leave me. She doesn't want it. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Yani, oh, what means? Is there a way for him? He has no hope. He has no way. She said, O Messenger of Allah, do you command me? Do you command me? So be like this one here. Because if he had commanded her, she would have done it. What she didn't want to do, what she did not prefer for herself, if the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had commanded her to do it, she would have done it. He said, no, I don't command you. She said, then I have no need for him. إيماننا بيوم آخر وجب وكل ما كان به من العجب إيماننا بيوم آخر وجب وكل ما بيوم آخر وجب وبكل إيماننا بيوم آخر وجب وكل ما كان به من العجب إيماننا بيوم آخر وجب وكل ما كان به من العجب. Our faith, our believing in a last day is obligatory, a judgment day. Our believing in a judgment day is obligatory. And in every astonishing thing about it, and whatever it has of bewilderments, of astonishing things, amazing, mind-blowing things. And the author doesn't mention those things. Things that we did learn about when we learned other books of Aqidah. All of those books of Aqidah that go this far, they usually would list such things that are not listed here. the things that are only hinted at here in this line. وَكُلِّ مَا كَانَ بِهِ مِنَ الْعَجَبِ, and in every astonishing thing about it. So I wonder if we can, let's say, as a group effort, name 7 things pertaining to the afterlife that we learned about in obligatory knowledge or in other books of Aqidah and other lessons of Aqidah. Let's see if we can name 7 things that would usually go around here. With a countdown. 5.
Al-Hisab.
Al-Hisab, the reckoning. So before you go further, what else we have here?
The Mizan.
The Mizan, the scale, yes. The Sirat, the bridge, correct. That's 3.
The books.
The basin, that's for the books. Yes, getting your books of deeds. But that can be counted as Hisab. That's one of the meanings of Hisab, getting the books of deeds. So I could not count that one. We have 4. Resurrection itself, that's 5. Yes. The scale we already counted, that's the Mizan. The assembly, that's 6. Let's see if we can get to 10. 5. 4.
About falling into fire. Yeah. Those who cannot cross.
Okay, let's just say hellfire.
Okay.
That's 7.
And the Al-Jannah, just through
paradise, that's 8.
Mm-hmm.
You said the shade under the Arsh, or the sun being brought forward. Okay, now how about we say this? Shade under the Arsh. Reward, that's 9. Punishment, that's 10. Yeah, reward and punishment. Reward and punishment is broad. What's the reward? What pleases the believer because of his good deeds. What's the punishment? What bothers the punished one because of his sins in the afterlife?
In one hand, he's receiving the book. By that, right to know.
So receiving the book, let me back up and see some of the answers given here. The Sirat, that's the bridge that goes from the reformed earth to paradise, or the land of paradise, if you want. Yes, correct. It's wide and slippery. It's obligatory to believe in it. Denying it is blasphemy. The Mizan, that's the scale or the balance. The deeds are weighed in the balance, good deeds against the bad deeds. That also is, if somebody denies that, he blasphemes. The basin, the Hawd, which is that each prophet has a basin, which is like a lake for his nation. The believers will come to the basin and drink from it before they enter paradise. We take the saying that the basin is after the bridge and before entering paradise. There is a saying that the basin is before the bridge. That saying we don't take it. We say the basin is after the bridge. And amongst what proves that is what was narrated about the source of the basin being the river of Al-Kawthar. The river of Al-Kawthar flows throughout the garden, flows throughout paradise, and empties out of paradise through a pipe and dumps into the basin. So then it's going to be after the bridge.
About the Shafa'ah.
Intercession, that's correct. I'm going to come to it.
About the line.
About what?
The line that the lines that the prophet mentions are 80 lines, the rest of it.
The lines. Okay. the lines of the believers. I would say that is part of Judgment Day. Because what I'm looking for is like some main points that we find in the Aqidah books in particular. So that if you were going to teach someone, you'd say, we have to believe in this, and we believe in this, and we believe in this. You might not say to some person, and we believe in that, how the believers are going to be in 120 lines. That's true, we do believe in it, but that's like comes along with Judgment Day. Like if I were describing Judgment Day, I'd say, and among the things that happen on that day is that the believers would be in 120 lines. Among the things that happen on that day is that the earth quakes with its most severe quaking, and the earth will be flattened and leveled, and like that, anything that happens on Judgment Day. But there are particular things that we learned their names, and we found them listed and named. So those are the ones I'm really looking for. So the sirat, which is the bridge, the mizan, which is the scale, the basin, yes. Denying the basin is not blasphemy unless a person is being stubborn. Because though the basin is true, it is not known in the religion by necessity, meaning that many laymen do not know about it. So then the blasphemy in this case would be because of being stubborn. Resurrection, yes, which is for the bodies that decomposed to recompose, and then for the souls to reunite with those bodies, and the bodies that did not decompose, for the bodies that did not decompose to merely be reassembled with their souls. Then the people will become alive again, and they come forth from their graves. Yani, so you know about what's some of the description that came there. Like that the ground is tussling. You see, it's like something's under the ground, moving around. Like there's some kind of commotion. That's the body coming back together. And then the person comes up out of his grave and he shakes the dirt off of his head. And he will come out, as you know, naked, barefoot, and uncircumcised. And if he lost any parts while he was alive, then when he comes back on Resurrection Day, that part will be restored for him. And what else here we have? Assembly, which is for all the people to be gathered together and made to move. The angels will be herding them, and they will be made to move to a place on Judgment Day called the Mahshar, the place of assembly. Maybe means stage. It's not just a little stage like where you perform a play. It's a large area because there's going to be many humans there. All the humans. The Mahshar, the place of assembly. The scale, we mentioned it, the shade under the Arsh, so that's amongst the things that happen on Resurrection Day. The sun being brought forward, yes, that's part of the story of the Prophet's major intercession. Intercession is something that happens on Judgment Day, and there is a major event of Judgment Day which is called Ash-Shafa'atul Uzma, the greater intercession. This one, had you named it, I'll accept that one as an independent name. The greater intercession, that's a major event of Judgment Day. That's when the sun draws near the heads of the slaves and they suffer, and then they go to Adam, and then they go to Noah, like that, until they go to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then Muhammad will intercede. And because of his intercession, a great body of believers from his nation and from other than his nation will be relieved from the torture. That's the greater intercession, a major event of Judgment Day. Reward and punishment. So that's general. Like I said for you, the reward is what pleases the believer in the afterlife for his good deeds. And the punishment is what bothers the punished one in the afterlife for his bad deeds. And there's two levels of punishment: the lesser punishment and the greater punishment. Yes?
How about the sweating? The sweating, those who are up to their ankle, up to their
Yes,
knee,
that
up
sweating
to their
is,
chest.
yes. That sweating is from when the sun draws near their heads. That's part of that narrative there.
Okay.
When the sun draws near their heads and then they suffer from the heat of the sun, the sweat, some people will be up to their own ankles in sweat. Some will be up to their knees. Some will be up to their hips. For some, their sweat will be up to the middle of their ear, without their sweat mixing with anyone else's sweat. And they go to Adam, then they go to Noah, etc., until they go to Muhammad, who intercedes. Do I mean they will be relieved from the torture of the sun when he intercedes? Yes. Alayhi salatu wassalam. Okay, so intercession. What is the intercession? The intercession is to ask for the good. And I'm going to give the answer. I'm just going through these names of things that the people typed. The intercession is asking for the good from someone for another. Asking for the good from someone for another. That's intercession. And so that's going to be that on Judgment Day, prophets, angels, practicing scholars, saints, martyrs, Muslim children who died before puberty, and others will intercede for sinful Muslims. And because of that intercession, they will be forgiven. Some of them will be relieved of the punishment altogether because of the intercession. And some will be spared of some of the punishment that they deserve because of the intercession. They will not get as much punishment as they deserve because of the intercession. Now, someone said angels. That's not something about the afterlife in particular. And we talked about the angels already, though. The author has talked about the angels in his texts. He has whole section. Yani, he dedicated several lines. How many lines is this here? From line 21 to 21, 22, and 23. These lines are dedicated to the angels. Why are we talking about these matters of the afterlife? Why are we naming them? Why are you typing them out for me? Because the author didn't talk about them. He just said something broad. He said in line 28, إِيمَانُنَا بِيَوْمٍ آخِرٍ وَجَبٍ. Our faith or our believing in a last day is obligatory. وَكُلِّ مَا كَانَ بِهِ مِنَ الْعَجَبِ. And in every astonishing thing about it. This and every astonishing thing about it. Like what? Like the scales, like the book of deeds being presented to you, like the bridge, and the reward and punishment, which that's broad, that means several things. It covers several things when we say the reward and the punishment. And other things. So angels doesn't go here. There will be angels in the afterlife. We will see them and interact with them. But that's the talk about the angels is its own separate issue that's covered here. Seeing Allah while the believers are in paradise without him being in a place. Correct. That's amongst the things that happen in the afterlife that we find documented in the books of Aqidah. Seeing God. The author didn't talk about that here. Someone said the blowing of the horn. Okay, that goes along with Judgment Day. If you want to just talk about Judgment Day, and you're going to say some of the things that happen on Judgment Day, you're going to say, for example, when the angel blows his horn the second time, that's when the people come out of their graves and Judgment Day starts. Question, what if he never had the part in the first place? So he's going to come back however he was. He's going to come back however he was. Okay, Barakallahu feekum. Great. Great job, great group effort. May Allah Ta'ala grant our group an accepted dua. Ameen. And that's very nice. Yani, some of you brothers and sisters, you're not mashayikh, but look, alhamdulillah, you have knowledge, you know things. You have knowledge, this will be beneficial for you in the afterlife. MashaAllah. Okay. So, and maybe there's another thing or two that we didn't mention. The hisab. The hisab was mentioned. I told you hisab has two meanings. Sometimes hisab refers to receiving the book of deeds. And then you're going to look in there. If you're a believer, you get your book of deeds in your right hand. If you're a kafir, you get your book of deeds in your left hand behind your back while your right hand is chained to your neck. And etc. Whatever else goes there. You call that reckoning or hisab, getting your book of deeds. And also, when God speaks to everyone, ما منكم من أحد إلا سيكلمه ربه يوم القيامة. There is not one of you, but that his Lord shall speak to him on resurrection day. That's also called hisab, yani hearing the speech of God on judgment day when he questions you about your life. That's very serious stuff there. What does someone expect judgment day to be, if you think about it? Makes perfect sense. خاتمة في ذكر باقي الواجب مما على مكلف من واجب. A conclusion. خاتمة في ذكر باقي الواجب. خاتمة في ذكر باقي الواجب مما على مكلف من واجب. A conclusion, خاتمة, يعني it's time to bring this to an end. في ذكر باقي الواجب, a conclusion to what remains of the obligation. So I really don't like that translation so much now that I'm looking at it. A conclusion, خاتمة في ذكر باقي الواجب. A conclusion mentioning the rest of the obligation. A conclusion mentioning the rest of the obligation. He means the obligatory knowledge. But you know now that we don't agree with some of what he counts as obligatory knowledge, as personally obligatory knowledge. All of the knowledge is obligatory to one degree or another. Either it's a personal obligation or it's a communal obligation. Whatever is not a personal obligation is still a communal obligation. So the author here, Al-Marzuqi, rahimahullah, he mentions some things to be personally obligatory, and we don't agree. We rather say those things are communally obligatory, not personally obligatory. Like much of what's coming. I mean, he has personal obligatory knowledge and communally obligatory knowledge mixed together here. So, khatimatun, a conclusion. Fi dhikri baqi al-wajibi, mentioning the rest of the obligation. Well, in reality, whatever remains is either personal obligation or communal obligation. But what did he say? Mimma ala mukallafin, among what is mandatory on a responsible one, min wajibi. Among what is mandatory on any mukallaf. So not everything is going to say now that's coming after line 29 is a personal obligation on anyone who's responsible. He says mukallaf here in this way, ala mukallafin, as if to say anyone who's mukallaf, anyone who's accountable. Mentioning what remains, the rest of the obligation that hasn't been mentioned yet. An obligation, yani the obligation on anyone who's accountable. So that means personal obligation. Not everything that's upcoming is a personal obligation, so we'll see. Let's see if we can sift through what's personally obligatory and what's communally obligatory. We did already, alhamdulillah. We'll do it again, bi'ithnillah. By the guidance of our Shaykh, rahimahullah. And so he says in the 30th line, نبينا محمد قد أرسل للعالمين رحمة وفضلا. نبينا محمد قد أرسل للعالمين رحمة وفضلا. Our Prophet Muhammad was sent to the world, yani the whole world, to everyone in the world, every human and genie, rahmatan, as a mercy, wa fuddila, and he was favored. He was made the best prophet and therefore the best creation. So al-alameen, the world here, refers to humans and genies, and in this case does not include the angels. Although the Prophet ﷺ is the messenger of the angels, with the meaning that the angels are Muslims who believe in him, but he's not a messenger to them with the meaning that he has to warn them. Yani, what he must proactively do as the Prophet ﷺ is not uh, geared towards the angels. What he must do, his prophetic tasks do not include having to address the angels. Rather, he addresses the humans and the genies. But the angels do believe in him, alayhi salatu wassalam, and they are Muslims. Abuhu Abdullahi Abdul Muttalib wa Hashimun Abdu Manafin Yantasib. Question, do we capitalize he for Muhammad? I would not capitalize it if it's not at the beginning of the sentence. What's that there? So I need to fix it. And he was favored. Thank you. Subhanallah. Abuhu Abdullahi Abuhu Abdullahi Abdul Muttalib wa Hashimun Abdu Manafin Yantasib. His father is Abdullah of Abdul Muttalib, of Hashim, of Abdu Manaf. That's his relation. So you know that. from the book of obligatory knowledge, that he is Muhammad, son of Abdullah, son of Abdul Muttalib, son of Hashim, son of Abdul Manaf. And then what do we say after that? From the tribe of Quraysh. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وأمه آمنة الزهرية مرضعه حليمة السعدية وأمه آمنة الزهرية مرضعه حليمة السعدية. His mother is Amina az-Zuhriyah. You know his mother's Amina. That's not mentioned in the book of obligatory knowledge, though, who his mother is. And his wet nurse is Halima as-Sa'diyah. Also, that's not mentioned in the book of obligatory knowledge. Someone has to know it, though. If it's something that someone has to know, then it's a personal obligation. Then it's a communal obligation. مرضعه حليمة السعدية. And his wet nurse is Halima as-Sa'diyah. That means the woman who nursed him. Yani, that's the famous one that if you know the Prophet's story. So none of that is mentioned in the book of obligatory knowledge, but someone has to know it. If it's not personally obligatory, then it's communally obligatory knowledge. مولده بمكة الأمينة وفاته بطيبة المدينة. مولده بمكة الأمينة وفاته بطيبة المدينة. His place of birth was the secure, the safe Mecca. His death was in sweet Taiba, Medina. That's in the book of obligatory knowledge. That he was born in Mecca. And he died in Medina. And what else is in the book of obligatory knowledge? He was born in Mecca, and that's where he was dispatched as a prophet. He was born there, and he was made a prophet while he was there, and he started his call there. And he stayed there until he migrated to Medina. His death was in sweet Taibah, Medina. That means he moved then. So his move was the hijrah, the migration of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. The migration is mentioned in the book of obligatory knowledge because it's mentioned. He was born in Mecca and it's sent as a prophet therein. He migrated or emigrated to Medina and he died therein. So here it does not mention the migration here. Nor does it mention here that he was sent as a prophet while he was there in Mecca. And he passed away in Medina, yes. أتم قبل الوحي 40 وعمره قد جاوز 60. أتم قبل الوحي 40 وعمره قد جاوز 60. He reached before the revelation 40 years. That's not mentioned in the book of obligatory knowledge, not in the metin, not just in the text. And his life surpassed 60. But when we learn the book of obligatory knowledge, we do learn this detail. So what's mentioned in the book of obligatory knowledge, that he is Muhammad, son of Abdullah, son of Abdul Muttalib, son of Hashim, son of Abdul Manaf, from the tribe of Quraysh. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he was born in Mecca and sent as a prophet therein. He emigrated to Medina, and He passed away therein, so it's not mentioned there. That he got revelation when he was 40 years old, but he did. And when you do learn the book of obligatory knowledge, that detail gets mentioned. And his life surpassed 60. So he died in Medina at the age of 63. So when you put those two books together, the book of obligatory knowledge with this one, then each one is filling some gaps for the other. This book is a nice one to learn after learning obligatory knowledge, the personal obligatory knowledge. Just to give you another layer, to reinforce the obligatory knowledge that you took from there, and then give you a little bit more cement in between the cracks for you. Then he goes on to talk about the family of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. وَسَبْعَةٌ أَوْلَادُهُ فَمِنْهُمْ ثَلَاثَةٌ مِنَ الذُّكُورِ تُفْهَمُ. So 7 children. You remembered that, yes? From the last time. He has 7 children. This nice thing to add after learning the obligatory knowledge. And the mentioning of his children and his wives is present in books of Aqidah with more or less details. Like in the Aqidah of At-Tahawi, it's mentioned that we have to revere the Prophet's dhurriya, his descendants, yani his children and those who come after them, and his wives, even if it doesn't give names. Here it has names. In Al-Fiqh al-Akbar gives names. Otherwise, where else will you find these details? Who are his children? What are their names? In Sirah, the biography of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Or where else you could find that information? In the different biography books, that the scholars wrote. Books they wrote about the Sahaba, the Tabaqat, the books written about the levels of people, like the books about the Sahaba. Who are they? What are their levels? What are their classes? Their categories? Then you'll find details in those books too. وَسَبْعَةٌ أَوْلَادُهُ 7 his children were. فَمِنْهُمْ ثَلَاثَةٌ مِنَ الذُّكُورِ تُفْهَمُ. وَسَبْعَةٌ أَوْلَادُهُ فَمِنْهُمْ ثَلَاثَةٌ مِنَ الذُّكُورِ تُفْهَمُ. 7 his children were. سَبْعَةٌ أَوْلَادُهُ فَمِنْهُمْ, among whom were ثَلَاثَةٌ 3 مِنَ الذُّكُورِ. 3 were among the males, so that means 4 girls. If you had 7 and 3 were males, then 4 were girls. Tufhamu, it is understood. I have a footnote here. It is understood, yani knowing. Okay, tufhamu. So I'm not sure what the author meant by tufhamu here. It is understood, but this is filler. This word tufhamu, it is understood. That's filler because he has to complete the line. Can't break the beat. If the poet doesn't know how to write the poetry, then he might as well write in prose. So he has to keep the beat. So then sometimes he has to put filler in there. So you knew 7, 3 boys, 4 girls. قاسم عبد الله وهو الطيب وطاهر بذين ذا يلقب أتاه إبراهيم من سرية. Here are his 3 boys. Qasim wa Abdullahi wa Tayyibu. Qasim and Abdullah, who is At-Tayyib. Abdullah, who is At-Tayyib and At-Tahir. وطاهر وطاهر بذين ذا يلقب. By those two, that one was nicknamed. Yani this one, whose name is Abdullah, he has two nicknames, Al-Tayyib and Al-Tahir. So in this line 36, he only mentioned two sons of the Prophet. How many names are here? Qasim is one name. Abdullah is the second name. Tayyib is the third name. Tahir is a fourth name. How many children are mentioned in this one line? Only two. Four names and out of between two boys. Here, line 36 has four names between two boys. One boy has one name and one boy has three names. أتاه إبراهيم من سرية فأمه مارية القبطية. أتاه إبراهيم من سرية فأمه مارية القبطية. Ibrahim was born to him from a slave woman. Thus, his mother is Maria, the Copt. That's the third boy there, Ibrahim. So he has Qasim, Abdullah, and Ibrahim. You wrote that down, inshallah. If you didn't know it, now it's in your notes. وغير إبراهيم من خديجة هم ستة فخذ بهم وليجة. وغير إبراهيم من خديجة هم ستة فخذ بهم وليجة. Other than Ibrahim were all from Khadijah. So he had 7 children. All of them were from Khadijah but one. So hum sitta, they are 6. فخذ بهم وليجة. So take about them the news. Okay, so now you discovered all the boys. All that's left now is for him to tell us the girls. وأربع من الإناث تذكر رضوان ربي للجميع يذكر. وأربع من الإناث تذكر رضوان ربي للجميع يذكر. And 4 of the females are mentioned. وأربع من الإناث تذكر رضوان ربي للجميع يذكر. May my Lord's acceptance be mentioned for all. Okay, so who are these girls? Can you say their names without looking? There's Fatima and Kulthum and Zainab and whom? Ruqayya. In any order you want though. So just test yourself, for example, like tomorrow. Just when you just remember, you say, okay, right now, tell me, talking to yourself. Now, self, tell me the children of the Prophet. His boys, there's 7 of them, okay. They are Qasim. Prophet Muhammad is Abu al-Qasim, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Abdullah, and he has 2 other names, so he's the one who has 3 names. And Ibrahim, he was the one born from the slave woman. And so he had a total of 7. That leaves 4 girls. Who are they? They are Fatima, yes, the best of them. Ruqayya, yes. And Kulthum, yes. And Zainab. Okay. فَزَيْنَبٌ وَبَعْدَهَا رُقَيَّةٌ. Skip the line. We'll stop here. We'll start from line 40 next time, inshallah. Any question? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. How old is this poem? Let's see, because he dated it for us. So, the date of this poem is 1258. What year are we in now? 1447? Which year are we in now? So, know which year we are in now, and then subtract 1258 from that year, and then you're going to know 1447. Yes. So, how much is that?
189.
How much?
189.
189?
Yes.
So 189 years old. Barakallahu fikum.